Okay, and now he will start to sing. Sure. First thing that I noticed, he's aiming for a lower larynx position. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the studio with a good cup of coffee for one more vocal analysis. And today we're going to listen to Clair Obscur Expedition 33 Une Vie à T'aimer live at the Game Awards. Well, I must say that up to this point, the video I made on Une Vie à T'aimer, not this live version that I haven't heard or haven't seen yet, but the original version that was in the video game, the video that I made with the vocal analysis for this song is by far my most watched video ever on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching it. I understand it's a great song. I'm pretty sure it's a great game. I haven't played it yet, but I'm pretty sure it is a great game. Of course, I'm excited to listen to this live version here they played at the Game Awards. This one, once again, was recommended to me by my friend Sergio. I also have a few students that were playing the game, like my great friend and student Patrick, that told me, oh, the soundtrack for that video game is just amazing, you should listen to the songs. Yeah, I totally agree. I've made a few videos on Expedition 33 songs, and everything I heard is just amazing. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Kyle Lish. I'm a singer-songwriter and voice teacher. As a singer-songwriter myself, I just released 4 weeks ago, my latest single is called Leave It All Behind. If you are into rock, if you like high vocals, vocal distortions, fast guitars, you might like my song, and I hope you do, and it would mean the world to me if you could go there, check out the song, and let me know your thoughts on it. I know if you are new here, you must be into this kind of content, seeing vocal coaches or voice teachers talking about voice, analyzing voices, reacting to vocal performances. And I'm not only, yes, I am a voice teacher, but I'm not only a voice teacher, I'm also a singer myself. I'm on the battlefield. I write music, I record music, I sing live. And this is just something that I love doing, and it would mean a lot to me if I could get your feedback on it as well. And as a vocal coach, my work is focused on laryngeal physiology. So basically, we have several muscles inside our larynxes, and depending on what we are doing with these muscles, how we are arranging the behavior of these muscles, we get different sounds. So what we do here is we analyze what the singers are doing, what kind of vocal behaviors they are doing, and how can we achieve those behaviors as well. If you want to become my singing student, check out my online singing course, Building Your Voice. The link is down below. In there, we cover a range of different vocal techniques. We talk about active vocal schemes in case you want to belt out high notes, but also sing low notes with power, with compression presence. We talk about passive vocal schemes in case you want to sing in a more dramatic style, whenever you want to apply a lot of expression when you sing softly. You will get tools to do that as well. Of course, we talk about vocal range, we talk about voice support, subglottic support, or breathing support. We explain about all that in there. We talk about vocal physiology, just in case you are curious about the muscles that we have inside our larynxes and how we can control them. But of course, everything in theory, but also with a lot of practice. In fact, we have a vocal exercise library inside the course with exercises for you to practice each of the techniques that we cover inside. We have a module all on vocal distortions, how we can practice and apply them in a way that will not hurt your voice. And we also talk about ornaments such as vibratos, yodels, runs, all of that and much more, again, inside my singing course, Building Your Voice, link down below. All of that said, let's dive into this performance. Let's listen to Une Vie à T'aimer live. So beautiful.
Arrête de m'aimer.
Je t'aimerai toujours.
Lâche ton chaud qui te sait toi.
Je prendrai toujours.
Arrête de prendre.
Lâche pas le chaud qui te sait toi.
Okay, and pause. Okay, This is pretty cool. So my friend Sergio, he told me, because this is the first time that I'm watching this, but he told me that the male singer is not the same singer that was in the recording. It was a different singer, but I believe the female singer, I believe her name is Alice, right? She's the same one. All right. This is really good. What I have to say here is, in this beginning, and of course you're doing a different rendition of the song. This one is way shorter. I remember that the original one is 11 minutes, and this one here is 3.5. Well, her singing in this beginning here, pretty much the same idea as the original. So her vocal folds are in passive tension, which means that we don't have as much compression. The muscles, the vocalis muscles, which are the muscle part of the vocal folds, they are not resisting that much against the air pressure. They are relaxed. And we have that classical feel to it. I believe she's a classically trained singer, and we have that sound there because of the passive vocal folds. Yeah, let's listen to that again, and then I'll talk more about what he's doing. I don't think they changed the key. I wouldn't remember the original one, but I don't think they did. First thing that I really like here, pay attention to how the microphone is close. And of course, when it comes to a performance like this, we have a lot of digital/electronic things going on. So keep in mind that this performance was later edited. They apply compression, they apply EQ, they apply effects. Pretty much what you would do for a studio recording. Everything is treated, everything is improved. And what that means is, even if in the situation during the performance they were playing around with the distance from the microphone, I believe that the final result would be a really good volume balance because of that as well. Everything is treated afterwards. But yeah, this vocal scheme here that she's doing inside vocal anthropophysiology, which is a theoretical framework for my work as a voice teacher. Inside vocal anthropophysiology, we call this kind of vocal scheme a Gregorian voice. Okay, and now he will start to sing. First thing that I notice, he's aiming for a lower larynx position. He's sounding more classical. If I'm not mistaken, when I listened to the original version, I had the feel that the female singer sounded more classical and the male singer was or had more of a musical theater feel to what he was doing. This here, I already feel more classical vibes, a classical tenor or baritone singing. The larynx is lower. The control of dynamics is amazing. Also the microphone quite close, and even with the lower larynx, he's able to sing soft and quiet. Toi. I wonder if the harmony here is the same as the original one. I feel that here I can clearly tell easier who's doing what than in the original one. I think that in the original one we had more information and it was mixed in a way that things were overlapping a little bit more to me. But basically they are singing on top of a E minor chord. He's doing the root here, and she's doing the minor third. But they have that octave interval here for what they are doing, which means that that's not the third, that is a 10th. This is interesting. Definitely we have more activation here. But it doesn't feel like he's singing active. No, I would say that still his vocal folds are in passive tension. Pay attention to how it sounds soft. We don't have as much compression. Everything is softer. Even though it is dark. When we have a vocal distortion here. I feel like he's doing that with supraglottic structure, so the corniculate cartilages and vestibular/ventricular folds. And then I feel like it's going towards a glottic distortion. And now everything here is really, really active. Not only that, but it's sounding less classical and more rock. The high E there. Still, same idea, Gregorian voice, but now we have the intention of increasing even more the space, making it a bit darker by raising the soft palate, aiming for that vertical shape. And the vibrato makes it sound more classical still. Active vocal fold. This is what we call inside vocal anthropophysiology a warn voice. The voice that you would use to warn someone about something. Sounds way more like a rock/metal singer here. This is so cool. Like, look at the stage. Both singers, the guitarist soloing in the center, and then both sides we have a choir. Behind them, we have an orchestra. This is so epic. So, when we have our vocal folds in active tension, that's usually when we experience the most trouble as we're going up, especially for male singers. And he is doing a great job of those high notes. Because we have muscles like the CTs, the cricothyroids, that are responsible for stretching the vocal folds. When we have the vocal folds active, when they are in active tension, they also become heavier because we are filling them up with blood. They start resisting more and closing with more compression because, again, we are mobilizing muscle mass. They become thicker, so they are closing. They are offering more resistance against that air that we are sending. And the muscles that are responsible for stretching the vocal folds, they need to be stronger because now they are stretching vocal folds that are heavier as well. And that's the reason why sometimes it feels so hard to try and belt out those high notes, because one thing is to be able to stretch your vocal folds to reach this in passive tension. Another thing is trying to keep your vocal folds active and the muscles that are stretching are strong enough to be pulling those vocal folds that are now heavier. Hey, hey. When the vocal folds are relaxed or in passive tension, we call that's a stretch, simply a stretch. But we say when they are active that we are doing an eccentric contraction. That is, we are stretching the muscle as we are keeping a degree of contraction. We are not just relaxing and letting go. She's singing with her vocal folds passive, but keep in mind that singing with active vocal folds or passive vocal folds is not only a matter of what's easier, what's harder. It's also a matter of what your choice is when it comes to the sound that you want, the aesthetics. And she's going for a classical sound, more specifically, a high voiced female singer. And in that concept, we are aiming for this kind of sound with passive vocal folds, and that goes maybe one octave higher than what he's doing here. So she's singing super, super high with a lot of vibrato, with a lot of flexibility. So each of them is facing different challenges. His challenges are more related to keeping the vocal folds active, be careful with breaks, because if we send too much air pressure, the larynx might collapse and everything might just get looser at once. If he's not sending enough air pressure, the same thing might happen, because the function of the subglottic pressure is precisely to pressurize the larynx so that the larynx can do whatever we want the larynx to do. And in this case, we want to keep your vocal folds in active tension. We want to reach those notes. So if we do not send enough air pressure, the larynx might get into hyperconstriction and everything might just like let go at once. So he needs to deal with all that, keeping the whole thing active, singing up there. He's also playing around with some vocal distortions. And she needs to have a great control of the supraglottic pressure, what she's doing with the filter, because she's aiming for a vertical position to make the sound darker. She's singing extremely high, and at that point, we have muscles in the back of the larynx that we call the firming muscles inside vocal anthrophysiology. And here we're talking about the lateral cricotinoid muscles, the oblique arytenoid muscles, and the transverse arytenoid muscle. All of these muscles are doing a lot of work to make those notes stable, because it's really hard to keep the pitch stable when you're singing up there. Really, really hard. And she's doing a great job because those muscles are working really well. The same thing happens with the air pressure. If she sends too much air pressure, the larynx will collapse. If she's not sending enough, the same thing. She has a great control when it comes to subglottic pressure, because again, pay attention to the microphone. She's not singing super far from the microphone, which sometimes is right in classical singing. In contemporary singing, however, because we're also playing with some other different sounds, we usually don't want that to happen. So everything here is just amazing, both of them. Epic. He has good flexibility as well, agility. He's doing that nice run, and at the end I hear some distortion there as well. That's so cool. This is amazing. Epic. Epic. The stage is amazing. This whole atmosphere of having the orchestra playing with you, and this is just something else, because it's not classical. Of course it's not classical, but at the same time, it is too rock to be classical, but it is too classical to be rock. You know what I mean? This is amazing. Another thing is they were not only singing really challenging vocal lines, but the stage performance was also marvelous. I'm pretty sure that they rehearsed this a lot, because the way that they were moving on stage, which is also a really important aspect of it. As singers, we want to be as much expressive as possible. So the way you move, the way you behave on stage is also crucial besides the way you sing. And talking about that, if you want to learn how to express yourself through your voice, I once again invite you to check out my online singing course, Building Your Voice. In there, we talk about active vocal folds, if you want to belt out those high notes, but also sing with a strong tone, low notes. We talk about passive vocal schemes whenever you want to sing soft, whenever you want to be super expressive and dramatic with your voice. We talk about vocal distortions, yeah! How to practice and apply them in a way that's healthy, that won't hurt your voice. We talk about ornaments such as yodels, vibratos, runs, all of that, much more inside my singing course, Building Your Voice, link down below. If you are curious about my own singing, check out my latest single, Leave It All Behind. In fact, I'll leave a card up here. If you click it, you'll get to a playlist with my original music. I have a few songs that I've recorded and released already, and it would mean the world to me if you could go there, give it a listen, and let me know your thoughts later, what you think of it. Okay, all of my links will be here down below. Also, if you're just getting here and you also want to see some behind the scenes of a singer-songwriter / voice teacher, follow me on Instagram. We have a lot of stuff there. All right, that's all for today, guys. You enjoy your day, you enjoy your coffee, and remember, if your concepts cannot be seen here in the real world, they must change, and not the world.